All right. What is up, everybody? Finally, my first live. Not sure if anybody's joined in yet. I didn't really schedule this, but um, been having a lot of trouble trying to just go live. I was on like a 24-hour hold and um, not sure why. It took almost 48 hours. It was almost like my phone or something wasn't compatible or, whatever. But yeah. Oh, not sure if anybody will join because I didn't schedule it. So I will hang out for a little bit. And I was wanting to talk some horror, man, especially like horror physical media. That's my thing. And I've got like 3,000 VHS tapes. About 300 of them or so are horror movies. The horror movies on VHS are really expensive, especially on eBay. If you get lucky and, Goodwill, half price books, if you got one in your city, things like that. Peddler's Mall, every now and then. But like the Peddler's Mall up here, people know what they got. So, you're not scoring a tape for 50 cents or $1 or, heck, even $3 or $4. Most time it's 10, $12, for maybe more. The most expensive tape I bought, is $20 for Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. And, it's a real sought out VHS tape. It's the most Chinese human ever. Well, good for you, bud. But yeah, VHS tapes, horror VHS tapes can totally get expensive. I've seen them go, $100 for, an 80s VHS tape. That's horror. I think Sleepaway Camp #1, gosh, it goes for like $150. If it's sealed, forget about it. It's, probably $300, $400, $500 for that. The Human Centipede. I have not seen The Human Centipede. I know the premise of it. I've heard some things, most definitely. Faces of Death. I remember Faces of Death. That was, in the 90s, man, that was some sought out stuff. What's up, Zombie Plays? You like horror movies? I love horror, man. Like, it's such a good genre. Especially the 80s. It was so good. Slasher films. I remember going to the video stores when, that was a thing. And it was so cool to just walk around and look at all the covers, most of the time, the better the cover, the worse the movie was, because they put so much money into the cover and not much into the production of the movie. So it was kind of misleading. You would, 10, 11, 12 years old, get this it's going to be so good. And it wasn't so good. Very low budget. Some of them were okay. those straight to video horror movies, sometimes they were all right, but a lot of times they were really, really bad. Horror. Scary movies. So, like, this is an example of, like, getting things that's cut or uncut. Like the DVD of Scream, this is cut. It doesn't show as much than the VHS, the blue variant copies that had Drew Barrymore. That was a release, and then Neve Campbell was a release. Courtney Cox, that was a release. I have all three of them. The first slasher film, I mean, I think that's debatable. For me, I'm going to go Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock. That's what started it all. I forget what exact year, but, that's 60s. And, yeah, Alfred Hitchcock, The second Scream movie's good, man. To be a sequel, it's good. I remember when the VHS come out, they already had Scream 2 preview on the first VHS, so it went into production very, very quickly. So, but yeah, the Scream 2 is good horror sequel. I put it up there with many. Oh, I subscribe to you from the group chat with Victoria. So, seen you were trying to get to 50 subscribers and just trying to help out the community. So, hi, nice to meet you. Yeah, she's been helping me out on my YouTube channel, and she's been nothing but help and a supporter, and she's great. Yep, nice to meet you too. I like your bracelets. Your bracelets are awesome. I'll be sharing it and try to help you get going more. Those are really cool. So good luck with that. I wish I had a niche like that so I could make some extra money on the side. Instead, I spend my money on horror VHS tapes. I love collecting VHSs. Yep, you're very welcome. No problem. Yep, do any of you all have any, probably not VHS, but DVD collection or anything like that? DVDs, they're going out just like VHS did when VHS, about 15 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. Blu-rays, I never got into Blu-rays much. They were so much money. And I'd already spent so much money building my collection that I was not about to replace all my VHSs and DVDs with Blu-ray. I just can't do it. Okay, cool. You make them for friends, birthday gifts, Christmas gifts. I can see that. Well, you're good at it. Those are really nice. I've got a friend at work that does similar stuff like that, and goes to Michael's and gets the beads and what have you, and all the materials, and makes all kinds of stuff. It's very cool. The Hitchhiker film, man, I've seen that cover like a whole bunch, and I have never watched it. You know, that might be blasphemous to say, but yeah, I've never seen it. It comes across my feed on like Tubi and Pluto and the streaming services, but I've never clicked and watched it yet. I've heard it's good. Do you like it? I like your name, Zombie Plays. Very cool. Not a big zombie movie guy. There's a few. Return of the Living Dead, love it. Such a good movie. It all started with Night of the Living Dead. That's the original. Well, there might be something older than that, but Night of the Living Dead, 60s. That's when it really got going. But yeah, grab a VHS here and show you guys a couple things. So these are the Scream blue variant VHS copies, and they came out with Courtney Cox. Bye, Zoe. Nice to meet you. They came out with the Drew Barrymore, and they came out with the Neve Campbell. And these, it's the only way you can see Scream uncut. It's the only way. For some reason, the DVD, like, there's so many gory scenes that they cut. When the guy's guts is falling out. When Drew Barrymore's girlfriend in the beginning. They kind of cut it really quick. You only see it for a second. With this copy, the blue variant, they hold the camera there, and you see the guts fall out of his stomach. And then same with Drew Barrymore when she gets murdered, and then hangs her from the tree. Spoiler alert. Hopefully you've seen Scream. But she's completely hollowed out. They really zoom in on this copy, but this copy they cut away. Do I have the first Freddy Krueger movie? Oh, buddy, do I. 1 second. So I got the original media box. This is Holy Grail. Got very lucky. Got this for like 50 cents back before VHSs really went up, especially with horror. I'm the best. Thanks, I appreciate that. Hi there, Camille. How you doing? Thanks for joining in. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I got all the Freddys in the original box. This is probably, I love number 1. It's great, classic. Depends on which day of the week you ask me. Dream Warriors kind of is my favorite. But 1 and 3, you can't go wrong with either one. 4 is good. Hi, I love y'all too. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, 4 is good, but that's when it kind of started to get a little, I don't know what wrong direction. I guess that's called the MTV Nightmare on Elm Street. It went for way more comedic Freddy than Sinister Freddy. And we all want that Sinister Freddy. You know, that's what made number one such a classic. He was absolutely traumatizing to me as a kid. There were many sleepless nights. You know, I would watch it staying up late when I shouldn't have. And then I just couldn't go to sleep because Freddy was going to get me. Yeah. Then number 5, that's when it really starts to go downhill. There's some good kills in this movie. And by the way, this is I don't know if you can, probably can't see it very good, but what it says there, but this is the uncensored version. That's why I love VHS. There's kills in that one that you don't see as much on the DVD or the streaming, platforms. They cut it. That's why I love physical media. You see the movie how it was supposed to be seen, so oh yeah, I've got Halloween 3. That's a very sought out VHS tape. It can get very expensive. I think I paid like $7 or $8 for mine several years ago, and now that thing's going for like $30, $40. You might be able to find one on eBay for like $20, $25. But yeah, a lot of people hated Halloween 3 when it came out. It it was supposed to be an anthology. John Carpenter didn't want to do all these Michael Myers sequels. He didn't even want to do number 2, but he was contractually obligated. So at least that's what I've read. And yeah, so they did Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and that's a good movie. But the fact that they called it Halloween 3 and there was like no Michael Myers, just people absolutely hated it. But it's gained a cult following now, probably in the last 10 to 20 years, especially on VHS. That is a getting very expensive tape. The Halloween movies, period, even on DVD. I seen somebody on eBay that was charging like $200 for all the Halloweens. And I mean, I like Halloween, don't get me wrong. And I get it. It's supply, demand. A lot of them are out of production, out of print. So what can you do if you really want it? Like me, sometimes I spend a pretty penny for my VHS tapes. Now that I've gotten so many, almost 3,000, it's hard to find anything that I don't have. So when I go to Goodwill or Peddler's Mall, I just see the same tapes over and over and over that I already have. And I have to go to eBay to complete a collection or whatever it may be, So, or if I just really, really want one, a copy of something, I'll have to, you got to pay to play, So, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. I'm just getting started, so, hopefully the channel grows. It's not really a set topic. I got a lot of Kings Island videos. I'm a big Kings Island person, so I love Kings Island. That's my happy place. Love riding roller coasters. I would go to other amusement parks. It's just Kings Island is less than 2 hours away from me, and yeah, just been going there since I was a kid. So, but VHSs, horror, physical copies. and just new horror. Even if I don't have it, we can talk about, the new stuff that's coming out. I went and seen Bring Her Back over the weekend, the new A24 movie. And, I did a little out of theater reaction. I gave it a 6 out of 10. It was fine. It could have been better. It was a little predictable. But it definitely did make me squirm. There were a couple of moments where I just absolutely just didn't, I didn't want to turn away because I didn't want to miss it. But man, it was a little gruesome, little disturbing, is what I said in my reaction video. So could have been better though. But A24, they're like the top horror production company in the last 15 years. They're just knocking it out of the park, for the most part. There's some that I was like, kind of swung and missed. But I just recently watched Midsommar. That was, you talk about a bizarre experience. I was like, what is this, dude? Oh, man. Favorite scary movie? It's between Nightmare on Elm Street or Scream. Like, I go back and forth. If I was on a deserted island and I only had one that I could, it would be a Nightmare on Elm Street. I love it so much. I love Scream 2 though, man. Scream 1. Scream is my childhood. Freddy was a little bit before me. I was born in 87, so by the time I got old enough to watch Freddy, I started watching them around 94, 95, so I was about 7 to 8 years old. Nightmare on Elm Street, I would have to say. Hereditary, I have not seen that neither. It's on my list. I got a buddy at work that just, keeps telling me, man, you gotta watch Hereditary. And that's an A24 movie as well. So I've heard it's great. And I do need to watch it. I love the X, Pearl, Maxine. Like, I thought A24 did a great job with those movies. X kind of had that 70s, almost Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of vibe to it. I loved how they shot it. Look, if an old lady was coming after me, she gonna get her ass whooped. I ain't letting no old lady stab me up. But it was unique, interesting. Pearl was absolutely, Mia Goth should have got a Grammy or Emmy or, something. But horror gets unrecognized, so expect, with Grammys and all the Academy Awards and all that jazz. I don't really watch that stuff anymore anyway. Back in my day, it was the MTV Video Music Awards, and that's no longer cool, or it sucks. It sucks. If you like it, then cool, whatever. But yeah, I've heard Hereditary is I've heard it's really good, man. Like, really good. I definitely, and I think there for a while it was free on Tubi. I should have watched it while it was on Tubi for free. But I think on Vudu it's only like a couple bucks to rent, so not bad. I don't have any streaming, like, pay for stream. I don't have Netflix. I don't have Hulu. I'm a physical media, regular TV kind of a guy. I'll go to the movies if I really want to see one, or I'll rent it on Vudu, whatever. I don't mind $4 or $5 if I like it. I've definitely, God, that Natty's Knocks, man. Oh, that was such a terrible movie. Many of y'all seen Natty Knocks? Oh man, the preview, it looks so good. That's why I don't like watching previews. Either they make it look really good and I waste my money, or they tell me the whole daggone movie in the preview and they just show you all the good parts. You know? Bring Her Back. I didn't watch any previews. I went into it almost completely blind. And like I said, I enjoyed it, but could have been better. It's fine. I hope A24 does. I've heard they're going to do a fourth movie for the X trilogy and make it a, I guess you call it a quadrilogy. Maxine was good. It lacked some horror elements, but it was good. The aesthetics, like they got the 80s right, from the fashion, the music, just the overall feel. It felt like the 80s, and I love the 80s. The 80s, man. I missed that decade. I was born in '87, so I don't really remember them. But man, if I could have been 14, 15 years old in like 82, 83, I'd have knocked it out of the park. In Hereditary, I'm not sure if he was asking me a question. I was explaining a couple movies there. But yeah, I'm gonna watch Hereditary. It is definitely on my list. It's been on my list for like 6 months because this guy at work keeps telling me to watch it. He's like, man, you need to watch it. And I will. I most definitely will. I've heard great things. Did you say you got any physical media there, Zombie? DVDs or anything? I forgot. DVDs are starting, man, they're really starting to go scarce at like Half Price Books. That's a place here where I'm from, and they got video games, vinyl records, VHS, little VHS, not as much anymore, but they got a crap ton of DVDs. And just a lot of vintage stuff, of course, books, stuff like that. I go there and, there's kind of crazy on the prices though, man. A used DVD for $6-7. I mean, I get it. If it's out of print, all right, I get it. But something that I can go to Amazon and buy for $5, I'm not going to give you $5 for a used one, But whatever, that's just me. Cool deal. Yeah. You got Blu-rays. That's cool. I never got into it because it just, like I said, I built my collection up, and I've got 3,000 movies in this house, maybe a little bit more. And by the time Blu-ray came out, there's no way I was going to spend the money to replace all the movies that I've accumulated. I mean, we're talking like 20 years that I've been collecting. So, been a lot of money, and a lot of my VHSs I got for 50 cents to $1, so DVD and Blu-ray. Yeah, that's cool. I do got a lot. I got maybe 400 DVDs, and I'd say about 100 of those are horror. I've got between VHS and horror, VHS and DVD, I've got like 400 horror movies to choose from, sitting right here. And I've got a projector. I've got a movie screen. I can just, I can go buy a cheap bag of popcorn and have my own movies right here, man, Really like it that way. I did enjoy going to the movies on Saturday. I hadn't been in a while, and just going to the movies feels different. Um, I remember that was the thing to do, especially in the summertime. It's either go to the movie video store or go to the movies with your friends or girlfriend, whatever. And it felt good to get out to the movies the other day. And it really, I didn't buy no popcorn, and drink. I ain't paying $15, $20. That sounds awesome. I can't wait to see it. Hopefully they executed the decapitation. That sounds awesome, man. It sounds great. Look, if I go to Half Price Books, I haven't been in a while. If they have it on DVD, I'll just go ahead and buy it because I know I'm going to like it. I can just tell. I know I'm going to like it. It looks like it's just me and you, Zombie, for my first live stream. I appreciate you hanging out, man. I didn't schedule it. I feel like there'd be a little bit more. But this is my first live stream, and I was just able to, I hit the button just one more time to see, because I've been having trouble the past couple of days. I hit the eligibility, and then it just wasn't letting me do it. And so I was surprised when it let me do it, because I didn't know if it was my phone. My phone's fairly new. I met all the requirements for eligibility, but I'm glad it finally happened. Glad you're hanging out with me, man. Had a few people come in and out and all that, and but next time I'll schedule one and be a little bit more prepared. And as far as the talking points and stuff like that, and sometimes we can just have a free for all, Heck, even if the scheduled talking points one goes into a free for all, that's cool. No worries, man. I'm a pretty laid back, easygoing person, Definitely love my my VHS tapes. I didn't finish showing you the last of my Freddy VHS copies. This is the 6th one. If you've seen the franchise, you know it. That one's not so good. And then the 7th one, New Nightmare, which, Freddy got back to being Freddy in that movie. It took him a while. It took him like 45 minutes to an hour, maybe an hour before he came on screen. But man, weird new look, sinister, and, back to scary Freddy, no one-liners trying to be funny, which a little bit of the funny Freddy's fine, but, they just ran with that too much and killed the energy with Freddy. Wow. You're talking about in Hereditary? I'm assuming you're not saying that happened in real life to somebody that you know. That would suck if it did. And I'm sorry if that's what you mean. Yeah, I'm assuming that you meant the movie Hereditary. Yep, there's another one I feel like there's another horror movie that's getting ready to come out. I seen the preview for it at Bring Her Back, and it was by the people that made Barbarian. And Barbarian, I don't know if you've seen that, but Barbarian was awesome. Like, it surprised the crap out of me. I had no idea that movie was going to be what it was. But I forget the director of Barbarian, but it's a movie that's coming out in a couple months called Weapons. And it looks decent. You know, I'll give them this in the, movie theater preview. It didn't show too much, so that, I love that. Love that. So, okay, cool. I thought that's what you were meaning. Yeah, I'm going to get it. I'm going to try to get it this weekend on DVD. Because I know I'm going to like it, man. So maybe that can be one of my, next reactions. It won't be out of theater. It'll be out of my theater. So, because I definitely got that going on up in here. I've lived in this apartment for 17 years, so got a lot of stuff, a lot of collections going on. So, well, look, I really enjoyed this stream, even though it was only mainly me and you, Zombie. I appreciate you tuning in. I've got to go. I'm going to have to end the stream. But, if you want to, check back with me. Subscribe. I'll be dropping some more videos and all that. And don't know if you like roller coasters, but I'll be going back to Kings Island in about 5 weeks. So I'll definitely be posting some more roller coaster videos and goofy videos, content from Kings Island. I always go with my sister and we have the best time, so, but yeah. All right, man. It was really nice to meet you. I hope you have not. You should ride some roller coasters. Even if it's not at Kings Island. If you got a park close to you, go ride, man. It's fun. It's great. It's great. So, but all right, man. I'll see you. Thanks for tuning in. You take care of yourself, bud. I'm going to try to end my first live stream. Later.